Hey guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Celandria, and today I'm on my hot girl walk. And while I'm walking, I'm thinking, and I want to talk about the main things that I think throw a monkey wrench in our inner work, the things that stop our meditations, affirmations, aura work, visualizations. Like, why, when we do energy work, why when you manifested something last year, 2 years ago, it still hasn't manifested? That's what I want to talk about today. So first of all, I'll start off by saying I think the most important thing, everything kind of falls under this one thing. And it's that when we do the energy work, when you open your eyes from that meditation, that visualization, and like once you're done, you've reached this state internally. When you're done and you open your eyes and your feet touch the floor, nothing has changed. Nothing will change. Nothing will be different. The people will still be the same. Work will still be the same. You'll get up, you'll go to the store, the people will be rude as hell. Like, the regular world, once you've done that inner work practice, is gonna remain the same. So if you do the inner work changes and you do the energy work, and then you expect for your external reality to just flip its switch immediately, it's not gonna happen. You may have went into energy work, you may have touched a state, you may have activated a timeline, you may have activated a reality, but you immediately dropped down back into your original one because it didn't change instantaneously. And I mean, there's plenty of books and Neville Goddard's and YouTube videos that tell you your current 3D state is a manifestation of the past. And so if you did a couple of meditations, right, but you still lived your regular everyday habits, mindsets, people, things that you watch, if you keep all of that the same, it's going to keep on manifesting or coming into actualization. I'm trying to get away from the word manifest. I don't know why. Well, I know why, but I want to get away from the word. So yeah, you do the work and then you don't hold it, right? So what we're doing when we do inner work is we are creating an inner foundation. We have recognized and realized that what I am, what I hold, my inner posture can be different from my external circumstance. We are realizing that my internal posture does not have to reflect my external circumstance. And it actually doesn't make sense to reflect it because I would be reflecting the past, which would put me in a feedback loop. If you haven't grasped that and you don't know how to hold the internal posture, you either need to do the energy work a lot more or learn how to stop being so emotionally and mentally reactive. So as an example for this, I would use the thermostat in your house. If you have one of those like automatic ACs and heat blower thingies, I don't know what they're called, just like a thermostat in the house, right? If the house is set at 65 degrees and you decide that you want it to be 80, you'll change the thermostat, which would be your internal state. You'll change the thermostat, but then the air is gonna blow and blow and blow and blow and blow until it reaches 65%. You don't, I mean 80%. You don't set the temperature to 80 from 65 and then it's just 80 degrees. Like, that's not a thing. And then God forbid you have the windows open, somebody's coming in and out the house, you know, gonna be running in and out my house because you're letting the air out, so then the air will continue to blow. Same thing. You did the internal work, you set your internal temperature to 80 degrees, your base temperature is 65. If you come out of the inner work and you peep, oh, it's just 65, and you just drop to 65 and don't hold the 80, you just turn the temperature off and it's not going to reach it. Okay, the number two reason why you're doing the inner work, the energy work, and it's not working is because maybe you do hold the temperature long enough. However, you keep engaging with the people that you love who are at 65%, right? So you keep going back to the people, like, you do your inner work, you feel incredible, you feel amazing, you do all this inner work, and then you come out and you hop on the phone with your best friend or your cousin or your sister or whatever who's still at 65, and you haven't learned how to like unmesh from, what's the word, that relation. You know, like you don't have to necessarily leave the relationship, but it is difficult when you have created a field of relation with somebody. That means that you guys share the same temperature. So it's almost hard to have the conversation and not drop down to that temperature, because it's abnormal for them, for you to be at 80. So they're not really gonna raise to 80. You would have to drop down to 65 or keep the conversation really short so that when you peep that you're going down to 65, you cut it and maintain your 80. Okay, I'm taking a little hot girl break. So, like I was saying, you keep stepping back into the relationships that hold containers of a different temperature that you're trying to outgrow. So these are all concepts that you've heard before. I mean, I don't know if you've heard the temperature analogy before. That's how I understand it. But it's like you get so excited. You want to share. You want to be with your people. You want your people to come with you. But they have not changed their temperature to 80 degrees. You cannot convince them or influence them to change their temperature to 80 degrees. You will just create dissonance in the relationship. And it's easier for a ball to roll downhill versus a ball to roll uphill. So eventually you will kind of just, even if you hold it for a while, you'll kind of just tumble down to that 65. And that's okay. Sometimes it just takes trial and error. I'm a trial and error girl. Everything for me is trial and error. So I think that my ball has rolled down that hill long enough, or so many times, and each time I've gotten stronger and stronger at keeping my ball just at the top of the hill that it's at and knowing when to exit. That is a practice. Another one that I'll throw in there is emotional reactivity. You're too emotionally reactive to everything. Like everything is a sign, everything is telling you everything. At some point, you just have to like decide the temperature and not look for signs of the temperature, or else you're just gonna get like swooped into everything, because to the extent that you're looking for the good is to the extent that you're looking for the bad, only because that's how attention works. Once you zoom into the 3D looking for a sign, it's going to show you everything, because the 3D, or like the world that you experience, the experiential world, is an amalgamation of every single thing. So unless you can handle the bad, or what's the better way to say it? To the degree that you can handle the good is to the degree that you can handle the bad. Both of those will happen in the experiential realm. That's just how it goes. So you would have to stop looking for external markers and signs, and you'd have to really control that emotional reactivity to social media, to what's going on in the news, to your friends and family, just to the person who cut you off. Like, you would really have to learn how to control your emotional reactivity and not make your emotional reactivity a sign of your internal state. And then for the last one, I'll say your act as if is probably off. I think that your act as if is probably off. So my example for this is, let's say you book a trip to Brazil. Brazil is my favorite place. I can't wait to get back, but I want a really like fully decadent experience when I go back. So I'm gonna take my time with that. Say you book a trip to Brazil. You live in Kansas. You save your money, you book the trip, you're scheduled to go. It's January, you're scheduled to go in May. You would not book your trip to Brazil and then start wearing a bikini and shorts out every day in January in Kansas. So you would not book a trip to Brazil and then act as if you're in Brazil while you're in Kansas. You would literally look crazy. You'd probably catch hypothermia or something like that. I don't know, but it wouldn't match. What you would do instead is you would prepare yourself to go to Brazil. You would get your suitcase together. You would pick your clothes. You would pick your outfits. You would decide how you want your hair. You would figure out where you're going to stay. You'd figure out what you're going to do. You would prepare, but you wouldn't start acting like you're in Brazil while you're in Kansas. So it's the same thing. When you go ahead and you do the energy work, you've basically booked the trip. You've booked the ticket. And then they say act as if. And so you just start doing like weird stuff, and it doesn't make sense. Oh my God, I didn't prepare to talk to you guys out here, so I'm like literally holding the camera and my arm is burning. My arm is burning. Let me stop playing. This shit hurt. Um, so yeah, your act as if is like weird. You know what I'm saying? So act as if isn't prepare. Just when you do your energy work, basically think that you booked a ticket to another timeline. So what do I need to do to prepare to get to that timeline? I think these are an amalgamation of like the top things, the top reasons that you've been manifesting and energy working and all of this stuff and it's not working. You're really just not holding the temperature, holding the pose. So that's all I have for you guys today. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that my walk wasn't too distractive for you. I appreciate you. If you like this content, check out the other content on my page. I will be posting more. Like, subscribe, and share. And also put down in the comments, let me know what you think about this. Am I off? Am I on? I'm on, but whatever. Yeah, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.